today's self-service video, I'm going to discuss project linking and reporting on those projects. So what is a project? When using the term project, think of the different sourcing suite of products that we offer, such as the sourcing module or the contracting module. Within the sourcing module, you have a sourcing request and a sourcing workspace. In the contracts module, you have a contract request and a contract workspace. The project is a generic term that describes all of those different workspace types. So why should I link a project? There's mainly two reasons. One, you want to have a reportable trail or an auditable trail from process start to finish or inception to execution. The other reason is to reduce data entry. So for example, I receive as a commodity manager a sourcing request. I want to create a sourcing project. If I do a follow-on project, it will copy the data from the request to the project to help reduce data entry so I don't have to duplicate the data entry. The prerequisites to this, you must be a project owner. The project owner is the creator of the project, or on the team tab, if you're designated as a project owner as a role, you would also have this ability. The two features that control this would be referred to as a follow-on project or a sub-project. A follow-on project is basically saying, I am in a sourcing project and I am initiating a contract, so it's a follow-on. So if I was in the workspace, it would show it as what was preceding this project. So if in the contract, if I clicked on the follow-on, it would show me what preceded it. From a sub-project perspective, you would use sub-project to state, maybe I'm in a sourcing project and I want to create a sub-project for the sourcing initiative because this is a very large initiative and I want to track it that way. The two locations, the first location for follow-on is typically found in the Overview tab, as you can see in the screenshot. From a sub-project perspective, it's typically created on the Documents tab. However, the sub-project also shows on the Overview if you scroll down to the bottom of the page. I'm now going to log into a sourcing project. I am now in a sourcing project, and as you can see, there's follow-on projects. So I have a non-disclosure agreement that was created for this initiative. I also have a master service agreement that's been created. The other thing to notice is it says predecessor project. This is actually what happens to say what preceded the follow-on. By clicking on this, it shows that the sourcing request preceded the project. What this means is this is the initiator of that project. I'm going to click back on the follow-on, which will bring me into the project. If I clicked on the follow-on project for SkyType MSA, it would bring me into the Contract Workspace, and you'll notice now that the terminology has switched to predecessor. From a sub-agreement perspective, I would go to the Documents tab, and you can see that there is a sub-project here. I named it that. In order to create a sub-project, you would go to Action Sub-Project. By clicking Sub-Project, you can then select the project type that you want to work with. Remember, in this case, I am in a sourcing request, so the most logical step would be to create a sourcing project off of it. You'll notice that some of the fields have auto-populated. These have come directly from the sourcing request. This is a configuration that support will need to help you with. Customers do not have access to carry over fields, so this is something that you'll need to work with customer support. From a follow-on perspective, you go to the Overview, you click Actions, and you can select Follow-on Project. The features and functions are very similar. As you can see, it still carries over the information. Now, from a reporting perspective, I'm going to run a report to show you what that looks like. I am now in the Create Analytical Report screen. To get to this screen, you would click Create Analytical Report. I placed the title. I'm reporting on sourcing requests to Workspace. The fact tables that I selected was a sourcing project and a sourcing request. Remember, project is a generic term. The sourcing project main fact table is really referring to sourcing workspaces. Sourcing requests are sourcing requests, and they're both considered projects generically. To report on specific features such as follow-on or sub, I have to select the correct reporting object. To report accurately on follow-on projects, there's an object called base on project. This is found in available hierarchies by scrolling down alphabetically to base on project. Because I already have the project ID and the project name, you will not see it on this screen. You can also get more detailed information by selecting available fields, which expands the selection options for each object. To report on sub-projects, I would use the parent project object in the reporting database. After I made the appropriate selections, I can select Refine Data. This is how I would further filter my report based on certain timing bandwidth. So for example, I'm running a report for the last 6 months. I'm going to click Done to run the report. Now, I am in the pivot layout of the reporting database. You'll notice that I am reporting on sourcing project. This is the name of the project. I added base on project, which was the follow-on, and this is what initiated that project as a follow-on. Parent project does not have a parent in this case because the parent would have been the request. Parent project is a specific term, when referring to a master sub type relationship. This is not to be confused with the contract master sub relationship. This is a different feature. It's just basically documenting the parent and sub agreement structure. So for example, if you have a sourcing project that has a very large initiative associated to it, you might want to create sub sourcing projects to link to the parent sourcing project. That is all for today's session. For more information, please refer to the help menu or log into connect.ariba.com. Thank you.